Hi everyone, I've been starting a lot of the videos lately saying we're back at the lot today, but actually today we're at our current home, our old property, and I need to dig up a bunch of bulbs and move them to the lot. The plan is to get these up. Ideally, it would have been great to get them up before anything started blooming, like over the winter, but we were just not at a place where we could do that. So yeah, we're gonna get them dug up so that, yeah, we can transport them. There's a lot of stuff here that we want to take with us. The tulips came from bulbs that Philip and I picked up in Holland on our honeymoon. Those are pretty sentimental. And once you take those out, and then the other thing is like the dahlias that are still asleep under the soil here. And, you know, I've spent a lot of time on that. So I'm going to take this stuff. It's kind of more sentimental. So by that point, I just need to clean out the rest of the bed. So we'll take those. I've also got some peonies over here that I can finally see where they are. I always lose them in the weeds. And then I've got some hellebores and some hydrangeas that we've planted that, you know, just the landscaping doesn't need it, and we like them, so we'll take those. And then I've already dug up my grapevines, so those are gone. And you know, I made videos about these years ago, so I'll leave some links down below. Don't judge me for my video editing years ago. I wasn't, you know, I obviously hadn't learned as much, and they're not as good as quality. But if you're ever curious about like what we did to plant all this stuff in the begin with, you can go check out our old videos. So that's what we're going to work on today. I will get maybe some time lapse up, and I'll just share some stuff with you guys. It won't be crazy, but at least it's a little bit of content in between all of the house stuff that we're waiting on. There should be 4 peonies here, and I don't think the ones in the back have survived. Yeah, I can't see the 2 back here, so they might have died. Got some hyacinth. There's gladiolas all through here, and try to get those up. Here's one of our hellebores that we planted. It's very, very pretty. Here are my 2 grapevines. I pruned them back like crazy. That's what I read online that you're supposed to do, make them basically bare rootstock. And I think they're starting to sprout. So I don't think I killed them too bad. This one was a little bit weaker already, so we'll see if it survives. But yeah, that's how they look right now. The other question right now is if I have enough potting soil to put these in after I dig them up. And so I'm looking around the side yard. I got 1 bag there. Might be more. But we've really given up on projects here since we've had the lot, the property, because we've been spending all of our time there. So as we're moving, we're cleaning up a bunch of stuff that's kind of been left to go since we've been so busy with the house and raising a toddler. I think it's going to be a pretty day today. It's the first weekend in April. It's a little chilly right now, but the sun is shining. We haven't had a lot of clear sunny days this winter, so it's going to be a nice day to work outside. All right, taking stock of the backyard. We do have our fruit trees back here. I think we're pretty sure we're going to leave these. They just never, I don't know, they haven't really ever taken off. The cherry trees have done the best, but I'm thinking they just never really have gotten enough sunlight in the backyard here. And that's fine. They can do what they will. Looking at my raised beds, I actually got up here and realized there's garlic. I've not planted that within the past year. So whatever is there has come back. So that's kind of cool. There's, yeah, definitely some garlic there. I think I'm going to take that rosemary bush. Otherwise, the rest of that is, you know, there's still some herbs like thyme. There's some lemon balm, the oregano. I might try to dig that up at some point. it's not a priority. It can leave. I do have an asparagus here. I've never harvested any asparagus, but could be good. Our pomegranate tree nearly died last year. It might be coming back, but it'll need a prune. And then I've got some dahlias here that I dug up last year, I think. See how many of those survived the winter. And then up here, I had some Swiss chard. It's gone now. I never harvested it, but looks like one of my raised beds has fallen apart. But you can just see it's like I've not tended to any of this stuff. Also gonna have to clean out the greenhouse at some point. That is a project for another day. Almost forgot why I came up here, is that I needed my pitchfork. Yeah, I think the spiders have taken over the greenhouse this winter. Need my pitchfork. And looks like a lot of the succulents are still here. Could probably be revitalized, but yeah, that's gonna take some cleaning out, huh? Something I hadn't thought of yet is that this is sage. Those are a bunch of snapdragons and more sage, and I think there's mint back there. And I might consider digging some of this up. The snapdragons have been coming back year after year. I'm not sure if that's self-seeding so much as, or if they actually like have been perennial in this bed. The sage has definitely been like a perennial bush here. Could use with a heavy prune, definitely. But I might, lower priority, but I might grab this stuff too. All right, I got all of the dahlias, the gladiolas, some crocuses. I think most of the crocuses like were hidden in the grass, so I don't think I got very many of those. I'm gonna leave my tulips for a couple more weeks and just enjoy those blooms a little bit more. Got the peonies, and then as you can see, those are all the dahlias, all of the gladiolas, and then there's a small pile of crocuses, and then of course the hyacinths. So we're gonna pot up the hyacinths and then figure out where to go from there. All right, this is crazy. That's a lot of plants in the back of the truck to take through the lot. I think it really represents, you know, the past 5-6 years of us working in the gardens. And, you know, this is stuff that we want to bring with us and don't feel like the new owners may appreciate as much as we did. So we're gonna take this in, but yeah, that's a lot. All right, we're finally back at the lot and we're getting ready to plant these plants. We found a good spot in the backyard. It's recently been cleared. And then we had a crew come in and work on wood chipping up some of the stuff that got cleared. But they put the wood chips in an odd location, or several odd locations. Like, I'm trying to show you, if you can see that. That was an old stump that we were trying to keep as landscaping, like a landscaping feature. And I don't have any pictures of what it's supposed to look like, but it is now covered in wood chips. And so I'm gonna go try to pull that down. And then Phil's gonna grab the tractor and try to clear or level out a little area for us to plant all this stuff so that, you know, it's like kind of like a temporary flower bed here until the house is done. So he's gonna try to flatten out this area here and then dig a couple of furrows that we can plant my plants in. Yeah, I think you can start to see what this stump was looking like. I mean, there's just like a huge amount of wood chips on this stump. I'm gonna try to keep on burying it, but like, this is insane. I broke out the mini for a little bit to try to pull the piles down a little bit more. I mean, it's just so much. It's taller than I am, so much. But I gotta get back in by hand and shovel out some more around that stump. It looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
It looks pretty good.
It looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
It looks pretty good.
All right, we're using the excavator to dig a couple of trenches here so that I can take all of this stuff and just like throw it in a trench. Again, this is just a temporary holding place, so you know, just want the plants to stay happy until we can get them into a permanent location. You know, really it should just be a month or two. think there's a big rock right there. Now Phil's digging a couple holes for me, so that can be for the bigger plants. That works. I got my 2 grapevines, the rosemary bush, and then like a really big hellebore. So that would be good for the bigger plants, right, Phil?
Yeah, that's for the big ones.
Okay, cool. All right, so we dug another trench, planted all my dahlias in there. I got some with the wood chips on the flowers over there. Need to do a little bit more, but I need to get wood chips down over the dahlias. And then we got to get everything watered in, I think. And then I'm a little concerned about deer, but hopefully nothing will disturb the dahlias after I mulch it down, at least until they leaf out. And so it might give us a couple more weeks for me to get something up to protect the dahlias from deer and other pests. So, it's been a lot of work. I'm running a super long hose from the well house all the way back to where it is on the excavator to water all these flowers in. I can't believe the hose reached. So here's that's where all the dahlias are. The hellebores, rosemary, grapevines, all planted in temporarily, at least. Now I gotta clean up all the trash. Hi everyone, it's Easter Sunday. It's the next day, and not even 24 hours, and we caught deer on our camera at the lot. Like, we haven't seen them in months, and literally the next day after transporting all these plants over, the deer show up. So definitely need to get some fencing up. We're actually just like grabbing stuff here at the house, and then whatever we end up like not having, we'll cut from logs from the lot. So I've grabbed a bunch of like boards that we were using or going to use for a project that never happened. Grabbed some chicken wire and bird netting that I've had from the garden here, don't need anymore. I mean, we're just getting ready to move. So, might as well grab anything that we can and take over there outdoors wise. So that's what we're doing today. We're trying to do this all pretty quickly so we can do Easter dinner later.
Yeah, number 4 is nearby.
Nearby?
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm thinking is, like, in these piles, I've still got some decent sized poles. I think I need about 18 altogether. I think I can find that many straight poles that are at least 6 feet tall. So I think I'm gonna start scavenging. 18's a lot, so we'll see. Here's what it looks like so far. I'm actually thinking it's gonna look okay. I mean, rustic for sure, right? But I'm starting getting some poles. I think I've gotten about 8 up so far. I think I probably need 9 or 10 more to do the whole perimeter. So I'm even thinking on this end, it's a lot narrower, that I might get away with like 4 to 6 foot poles. So Phil's helping me find more poles, but it's hot today. Carrying these logs. Pretty heavy. There's my very primitive deer fence. So we got the poles. We got some old siding boards up as top rails. I stapled bird netting all the way across, put in the holographic tape, and then also sprayed with, if I can point, the deer repellent spray. It smells really, really bad. And so I'm hoping that all that combined keep the deer away from this temporary bed where all my transplants are, and that they all survive until we can move into the new house. So stay tuned. Sorry that the updates have been so intermittent lately. I'm hoping to get a lot of content up in the coming weeks once I have time to actually sit down and edit it all. So thank you all for watching today, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.